Yes, guys, how you doing? Welcome back to Football Inc. I hope you're all happy and healthy doing the things you love. We've got an interesting new setting or a new update on StreamYard that allows you to do your normal live stream, but also one that's made for mobile. I don't know if it's on a different algorithm, but the settings are all weird, so that's why it's taken us a few minutes to figure it out. I hope you guys can forgive us a little bit. Not too much. Keep us to account, though. Please smash the like button, guys. I hope you guys are all enjoying the first of many days in the transfer in the international break. What a tiresome 2 weeks we have. But hopefully Jonny and I can keep you entertained. That's what we try to do here. We're going to all laugh at Jonny's predictions this week, and we can all celebrate Shawnee still on the top of the pops. We've also I'm ain't joking, Jonny. I'm coming in hard today. Coming in hard. Guys, please do smash the like, smash the subscribe, hit the notification bell, and drop the comments thick and fast. Let us know what your thoughts are on the topics. Let us know where you're from, if you're new around these here parts, who you support. And lastly, before I come and find out how Jonny is doing, also, guys, this is obviously going to be on Spotify and Apple Pods and Amazon Pods and all that stuff straight after the stream. So if you don't get a chance to watch it live and you're watching this back on replay, but you'd rather be watching it on those podcast platforms, then please find us out there. Football Inc. You can find us, or the links are in the description. Give us a rating if you don't mind, and a follow. Jonny, how are you?
I'm all right. Really enjoyed the game, the Man City Liverpool game yesterday. And what with Newcastle losing, I expect to hear lots of how out, slot out, out. Out seems to be the flavour for this season for any football fan. Lose 2 or 3 games and the clamouring to be sacked. Let's have some balance here. Well, I'd like to talk about how actually, 3 years into his job, is he failing Newcastle or is Newcastle failing him? I'd be interested.
They haven't got any of the injury problems that Tottenham have got, have they?
No.
They always struggle to do it when they're playing Champions League. It's like they have a great year, then they have a terrible year in the league, because the great year qualifies them for the Champions League, then they struggle with the 2 games a week thing, and then they fall back down their perch. Season's still young though, Jonny. But yeah, everyone's saying how out.
I mean, look.
Where do you go from there? From him?
He's been a great servant. Look, I mean, he's got the opposite of what Spurs have got. They can't stop winning at home, cannot win an away game, struggling away from home. But he's got a fit squad. They've definitely invested in him. Yes, they lost Isak, but they bought in Visser. They bought in Walter Marde. They bought Anthony Elanga. It's not like they didn't spend any money. And, they got one of the best midfielders, should I say, Joel Linton, Gumaresh. They've got Jacob Murphy. They've got Tonali. I think they've got a really good squad. So, it's
still lack a little bit of depth, though, don't they?
But they haven't got any injuries, Sean.
No.
They haven't really got any injuries. So I know Joel Linton went off in this game, but come on, it's 3 years in. They're saying, Sean, the stream looks different.
Does it?
Yeah.
I'm going to look on YouTube.
Just shows, yeah. Guys, if you're in the chat, sorry if you're listening on audio, we just got new YouTube feed. So from our end, what we can see is landscape. We've got 2 screens now. One is landscape.
Well, it's showing the
right.
Hang on, how do you do that? It's showing the squeeze version of it. That's not right.
Yeah.
How do we do that? How do we change that?
So Sean is Sean at the head of the BBC control. British Balls Up Corporation. I don't know what's happening, but we've been squeezed.
Apparently, we've got into monologue view. I don't know why. Sorry, to a portrait view, monologue view. That's when I'm talking too much. Listen, I don't know how to stop it. Maybe I'll. I don't know what to do here.
Well, maybe leave it for this one, and then we'll have to revert for the next show.
Yeah, I'll see if I can figure it out during the stream. Carry on talking about the stream, about the content.
Yeah, no. So I just like to know what you guys in the chat on the stream or an audio, whatever, please let us know. Have Newcastle let down Eddie Howe, or has Eddie Howe let down Newcastle? We see this sort of yo-yo when they do very well when they're not in Europe or not in the Champions League, and they have that drop off. As soon as they were in the Champions League, they struggle to do both. But I think, really, honestly and truthfully, I think Eddie Howe, over the balance of time, has done a good job.
Yes, same.
He has. But this season, you can't question. I mean, they beat Athletic Bilbao quite comfortably at home. But let's be honest, I think right now, where the way Athletic Bilbao are playing, we saw how Arsenal absolutely disposed of them, that I think playing, Brentford is probably harder than playing Athletic Bilbao right now. Brentford away, that is. I don't know. I think questions are going to have to start being asked about Eddie Howe. I'm not Eddie Howe out at all. Be interesting if we got any Newcastle fans in. I know Fox is a Newcastle fan, but he's not actually here at the moment. Brentford on fire at home. Andrews has done a fantastic job, absolutely fantastic job. Kobe with that, with his throw. I've never seen a throw like that, Sean. I mean, it puts Delap's.
Coyote, yeah, it's unbelievable. It's better than Liam Delap's, mate, or better than Rory Delap. Sorry,
Rory Delap's throw. Yeah, it has a trajectory on it. I mean, listen, he was brought in, Andrews. That's the funny thing. We were terrible at set pieces at Spurs, and we brought in everyone from Brentford, apart from their set piece coach. What we did, we had the guy who was there before Andrews came in, and Andrews done a very good job. I mean, I think most people were tipping. Most people, I think, were tipping Andrews to struggle this season, having lost Norgard and losing Visser. And Buemo would be a severe problem. I think we're going into mobile mode, Sean.
I don't know what. I don't know what's going on. StreamYard said when I set the stream up, it said just recommend this to just hit this button, and it should create two different streams, one for desktop and one for mobile, which is why, Johnny, we can see it side by side. But obviously, it hasn't picked up the right stream on YouTube. It's got into mobile mode on YouTube. I don't know what to do. We might have to just suffer this one, mate, unfortunately, and then
I think
back to the next time.
I think if you're on the TV, or if you're on a laptop, maybe, or a TV, or your computer, you might be getting it landscape, and if you're on your mobile, you're getting it squeezed, like we
if
are.
we're getting it on mobile, it should be squeezed the way it was supposed to, but the way it is. But are you watching? Let me say, Destiny, are you watching this on your mobile, or are you watching this on your laptop or your computer or your TV? And the same with you, Adam. Are you guys watching it on your mobile? If you're not watching it on your, if you're watching it on like a computer or a TV, are you seeing it normally? Because I'm seeing, when I go to YouTube, I'm seeing it in on my computer. I'm seeing it in a weird mobile view.
Yeah. See, Tom Kingdom says I'm getting mobile. James is saying I'm seeing side by side on the TV. Magic is saying, sadly, I can see you.
So yeah, okay. So it's obviously.
Sully's
I don't know.
Sully's saying Swift released is in 2 weeks, Sean.
What is?
Swift released is in 2 weeks. Don't know what that
means.
I'm not sure.
Okay, listen, it is what it is. Apologies for the for those of you that are watching on the TV, but you can. I mean, look, less of my grid is probably a good thing. You know, let's be honest.
His boat's been squeezed. Right. So, what are your thoughts quickly on before we moved on? Listen, I think most people thought when the Saudis came in with all the gold that they could eat, that Newcastle were just going to flip the switch and we were going to see Messi and we were going to see Mbappe's and we would see everyone at St James's Park. But thankfully for FFP and PSR, they couldn't just ride into town and take over the football world. But they have backed him, Sean, have they not?
Yeah, they have. They have. But they lost their big player. I definitely think that the Isak thing has kind of thrown them out a little bit. The Voltamade's been, excuse me, very good. But he's not the same sort of player. Like he's a connector, whereas an Isak is a game changer, where he can just pick the ball up and do whatever he wants. And with that, I think comes a bit of confidence for the rest of the team. It's just there's going to be more work. It's going to take a little bit of time for Newcastle to resettle in. They also haven't really seen the benefit of Vissa yet. I'm sure when he gets better or he gets fit, he'll be a good element, a good introduction to their model. And I think that, like, apart from that, though, like Newcastle, they bought some cracking players, like Malik Thiaw at the back, who he doesn't play very often for them, but he's a brilliant player. I'm surprised he doesn't play more often, but maybe that's just an acclimation process, assimilation process. I think Newcastle will be fine, mate. I do, but they've got to arrest their away form. Like Tottenham have to arrest their home form. Newcastle are brilliant at home, but really bang average away from home. They just don't travel very well, and I don't know what that is. I'm not good enough at understanding the psychology of footballers to know why it is that they can be such a good team at home. Do they just rely so much on the energy of their crowd? Or maybe conversely, do Tottenham get so pissed off with the energy of their crowd that they rather go away from home?
Well, because they get fantastic support away from home. I'm sure the Geordies are great supporters, home and away. I can't believe they wouldn't be. It's just, I think there's certain narratives. If you listen to the press, Sean, I do believe half the time there's a narrative flavour of the month. There's an excuse for one manager and no excuse for another. I think on the radio today on Talk Sport, I'm not sure who it was, but they were praising Thomas Frank and the fact that Manchester United and have a go at Ruben Amorim. He said Amorim's had no game to play all week. He's had the entire week to work with a full squad with no injuries, Sean, for this game, for the game that happened on Saturday.
Yeah.
Thomas Frank is trying to juggle non-stop issues, loses Kudos at the last minute, loses Muani at half-time and still manages to get a draw. And yet he's being vilified in the press. Yet Amorim seems to have got off like he's slowly turning the corner with his team whole week with no injuries.
Yeah, you know how I feel about United. I think that they're bang average. I think that they're there for the taking. But I think with the Thomas Frank, the people that are frustrated with Thomas Frank, it's not because of necessarily the United game. It's because of the other games before it at home. And he didn't necessarily. He's had injuries from the start of the season for sure, but they're adding up now. Whereas previous games, Bournemouth, Villa, Wolves, they weren't as bad as they are now. He did have more options, and he still set the team up in a very much, in my opinion, the way I see it, as a not to lose system. And I think that can be frustrating for a team or for a fan base.
Is that counter-attacking football?
No, I don't think it. I think it's more.
Isn't that what it is?
We're not a counter-attacking team. We have more possession most of the time than the other team, especially at home. But I think we're set up with a reluctance to play people forward. This argument. Let me show you something. This argument, right, about the midfielders, and that they're like, what else do you expect? If you're going to compare our midfielders and their data, their stats, which is not always the only way to go about it, right? But let me show you Bentancur, for example, right? This is not me having a crack. This is just me showing the setup, right? I want to show Bentancur versus. I can't do this. What's going on here? Midfielders. Here we go. So, bring this up on the screen.
Having a full squad team, having a full setup, a full team, not having to play square pegs in round holes, allows a lot of players to play their true game and their full game. Whereas at the moment,
this is Bentancur's season, right? This year, okay, doesn't look great. I'm not even going to compare him to the likes of Locatelli or João Gomez or potential solutions.
João Gomez, I mean, you can put João Gomez as having a great season. Meanwhile, they're bottom of the table and haven't won a game.
No, I know. I'm just saying that if the argument for me is, I'm hearing is, what else can we do? The players aren't good enough. Like the midfield is what it is. We haven't got a ball playing, and I agree to a point. I do agree to a point. Right? I think that we do need a different profile midfielder. But if you just compare Bentancur this season with Bentancur last season, then look at that. right? He's twice as progressive, twice as many key passes, twice as many forward pass percentage completions relative to other people in the top 5 leagues, twice as many forward passes relative to other people in the 5 leagues from last season to this season, twice as many possessions won, more dual percentage carrying, more like he is a better player last season than he is this season. And so, and I just want to like show you, like,
do you not think, Sean? Can I ask you a question for context there? Do you not think last season when you're playing with a Solanke or you're playing with, more of a full set with Maddison or whatever, or Kulu, whoever, they're various stages players that come in and out, are granted. But I think, there are so few options. The same with Xavi Simons. Like when Xavi gets
I'm not talking about the option. I'm talking about the same player that has been fit and how he is being set up to play. Same with Pape Sarr. It's exactly the same story. Right? The players that are playing now, they are being set up in a way. I think it was clear against United and it's been clear against Villa. If you go and look at the heat maps, go and look at the data, or just go and rewatch the game and you'll see it. Xavi Simons is getting thrown under the bus because of his inability to create magic. He doesn't have any support from the people behind him. And when we break, and this is I'm not talking about counter-attacking football in transition. I'm talking about possession-based football in slow build-up stages. The only time that Bentancur and Pape Sarr are allowed to progress past the halfway line is when we've had either a set piece or when we've had a prolonged period of horseshoe football. And then they can join forward. And then you get the back four joining onto the halfway line. During the normal base of transitional possession, they are not allowed to progress past Xavi Simons. And I think that the stats there, I'm not talking about comparing him to better players. I'm comparing him to the same player that he was last season that was given a different setup, a different style of football.
That Thomas Frank doesn't know what he's doing, or the players aren't doing what they're told?
No, I'm just saying it's by design. Thomas Frank is designing the strategy not to lose, to be more pragmatic, to be more concerned about what the opposition are doing.
Do you think, right, that he wants to win a game of football, right?
No, listen, mate, it's not about, this is not an attack on him. This is just an observation of how I interpret the game. And I'm saying that people are saying that we can't do anything more than we are. Look at the options we have. If we had a midfielder that was doing that pink version of Bentancur last season, we would be able to do more. The fact that he is doing everything he was doing last season at half of the frequency, or relatively half compared to other people in the top 5 leagues, it's the same player playing in a different position. You can't avoid. And just let me finish the point. You can't avoid you can't. If we're being honest, you can't avoid the outcome that Thomas Frank is setting us up to play a certain way. And whether it's right or wrong, whether it's reasonable or unreasonable, whether it's acceptable or unacceptable to the fans, is irrelevant to the point. The point is still the point that he is setting the team up to play a certain way. He wants to do it that way, fine. He thinks that's the best way to get the output, fine. Let's not pretend like we can't do something different, because we have a player in the team that last season was doing all of these things at twice the frequency.
Yeah, and losing 22 games. What I would like to say is, though, I can't put any credibility to these numbers. Obviously, that's what's going on now. But for me, I need to see what the system looks like when we have a proper striker, a proper winger, when we can actually put out. I don't think once he's put out anywhere near a full strength team at the moment. And this is what's, I'm basing my thoughts of being frustrated.
The same as what happened with Ange, though, and probably Conte as well. We've had an injury crisis at Tottenham for 10 years.
2 years in with Ange, and the football was getting worse and worse and worse, Sean, right?
I hear you. I'm not defending Ange. I'm just saying that the injury crisis at Tottenham hasn't started with Thomas Frank.
No, I didn't say it started with Thomas Frank. I'm just saying to you that, if you... Right. It's not like you can have 5 injuries, but they're 5 periphery players. Spurs have players that nearly every one of them, I would say 5 of the 11 would walk into the team. I probably would say 5 of the 11.
Becky Matters,
Solanke, Kudos, Moani.
But those injuries have literally just happened.
I know they're still injuries, aren't they?
Yeah, but we can't use current injury. We can't use injuries today. That
Moani only had 3 games, mate, and he didn't even play 3 full games.
Right,
he came on a sub.
Yeah.
So he was injured when he came as well.
We don't know what we're missing without him, then, do we?
Well, I think we got an idea. I think we can all agree Mawani's an upgrade on Richarlison. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, 100%.
And the thing is, we were starting to see a very good relationship, as I said, back of house between Xavi Simons, Odegaard, and Mawani. They seem to have a technical understanding of the ball. Yeah, and so it's another loss. We can't.
What's interesting, right, is how stark, away from the injuries, away from the tactics, how badly we play when Pedro Porro plays badly, and how much better we play when he plays well. Because he is, when we don't have that passer in the midfield, that all-round progressive passer, he is a guy that gives us that option. And when he's on point, when he's whipping the ball into dangerous areas, we do carve out chances. But when he's hitting the ball, when he's slicing it off the tee, then it's a nightmare. I think his last 4 games, apart from Copenhagen, he's been really bad recently. Pedro Porro.
I thought he picked the wrong team, Thomas Frank. I told you what I would have done. I would have put Jed Spence at right back. I would have put Destiny at left back. I would not have played Brennan Johnson. I would have put Pedro Porro in that right wing back position. So they got double up on that side against Mbeumo. And then I would have put Odegaard on that left hand side, Mawani at the top, and Xavi just playing just behind them. That's how I would have set up. It wasn't the way it was, but what I'm trying to say here is you got Arne Slot, who's lost 6 of the last 7, spent 450 million. You've got Howe, who's been there 3 years, and it's like, let's have some balance here. Do you know what I mean? Let's have some balance. Let's have some balance. Yeah,
no, listen, 100%. I'm not Frank out, but I'm going to call it as I see it. And as I see it, I think the team against United was set up to counteract this perceived threat, this unbelievable supremacy that people seem to have convinced themselves that United have over us. And I'm like, what are we doing here? We're playing at home against, for what I consider to be a very dusty manager and a pretty bang average team. Yes, they've got some threats, but then if you always worry about the opposition, you're never going to worry about how you can cause them problems. And I think we were set up in a certain way, but not for the first time this season, with too much of the attention on what they can do to us rather than what we can do to them. And that's my criticism. I don't think it's unreasonable. I think I take into account the context of the injuries and how little time he's had relative on the training ground. I take all that stuff into consideration, and that's why I'm not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. But to pretend like it can't be diagnosed or improved upon and analysed as a fan and a fan channel, I think is wild. So I think everybody should be okay. If you land on a certain thing where you're not that unhappy, Johnny, I'm more than happy to let you have that opinion. But I think a lot of people right now are trying to, not you at all, but a lot of people on Twitter, on YouTube, on content, etc. I think everyone's trying to police everybody else's opinion and making out like there's only one way to see it. And it's their way of seeing it. And I think it's
11. But I can't listen to people who say that 11 fucking injuries is not affecting the team. I don't get that narrative at all.
Of course. That's a wild take as well, 100%.
Regardless of what your take is on Thomas Frank. But I do think that Bentancur had better players to progress the ball to than he currently has now. Kudos for me is way too selfish with the ball. But listen, look, we will see. We will see.
Listen, before we move on from Tottenham, actually, we're going to come back to Tottenham, mate, because there's the big story of the day, of course, is what's happening at Atalanta. There's chaos going on over there, and there's a lot of opportunities, especially with the relationship that Paratici has. We are going to come back to it, but just super quickly, I wanted to just ask your opinion. Obviously, we have nothing we can do now about Mawani. We've got maybe, I don't know, 7 more games or something until we get to the January transfer window.
We're in a terrible mess.
Yeah, we are at the top end of the pitch. Right now, do you think that the correct option, let's just say Arsenal, then PSG, and after that, I think it gets a little bit easier for a moment, Fulham and then Newcastle again, etc. Plus, we've got Slavia Prague. Do you think that you're going to see, would you rather see a Dane Scarlett? A lot of people are calling for Dane Scarlett to get more minutes, and I don't mind it because I think he's always done okay in a Tottenham shirt.
Come on,
I'd also say, for me, Matisse Tell surely has to step up, stand up, and be counted, right?
listen, look, I'm sorry, guys, right? I've watched Dane Scarlett at the academy. I've watched him for a few years. You know, he struggled to get a game for League One Portsmouth, right? Let's be serious, right? League One Portsmouth struggled to get a game. Tyrese Hall's playing for Notts County, right? Mikey Moore is playing. Will Lancashire is playing. First team minutes, week in, week out for Oxford, okay? If he was that good, right? I'm not saying he's a bad player, but for people calling for him to start over Tell and over Richarlison, whatever you think about Richarlison, I'm sorry, Dane Scarlett is not ready to start. Dane Scarlett.
Just as a balance, though, has he ever put in a bad shift in the Tottenham shirt?
No. But there's a difference, Sean, between coming on for 10 minutes and 5 minutes and playing a full 90 minutes and starting. I'm all for Dane Scarlett coming on as a sub. I have no problem with that, okay? When the players start to tire and he can twist and turn, I'm all for it. And that's exactly what's going to have to happen. And let's be honest, if Richarlison goes down, right, you can all laugh. Oh, that would be great. I see all the comments. You know, we'd be better off if Richarlison gets injured. Have a word with yourself, guys. Whatever you hate about Richarlison, at least he's up there chasing balls down and causing shit to happen, right? He should have scored a couple of goals. He should have scored the other night. We all know that. But we don't want another... anyone
that's rooting for an injury is that's sick.
Mate,
first and foremost.
Listen, Sean, I don't need to tell you how many people were pretty delighted that we lost that late goal against Man United. I told you, there are them about. We know who some of them are, right? And it's embarrassing, right? It's embarrassing. I'd be embarrassed to be them. But I do fear for Spurs because I do think between now and January, it's a matter of survival now. And if we get any more injuries, because no one's coming back. No one's coming. Bergval's the only one that's coming back before Christmas, I think. Maybe Dragusin. Not Kulu. None of the attackers. None of them.
Yeah, the attackers aren't coming back.
No. So
Kudus should be.
Yeah,
Kudus should be back. Well, so you're going to have Kudus and Bergval back for Arsenal. I don't know about Dragusin or any of that or Solanke. I mean, they won't even give a timeline on Solanke, even though he gave a timeline about 3 months ago.
Listen, even if Solanke was back in 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah, he's not fit enough. He's nowhere near match fit, is he? He needs a pre-season first.
Fit, like being proper match fit.
Do a couple of super chats, mate. Is that okay with you?
What's that?
Do a couple of super chats quick.
Do the super chats, yeah.
Big up to you, Houdini. I'm so sorry, guys, that the people that are watching this on a laptop are having to suffer us in squeeze format. It's I don't know what's going on. I'll have to go and read through the settings on it. But Dino, thank you very much indeed. Always here. Choo-choo. Always supporting. There's 204 people here, by the way. So fun fact, if everyone was to put in a £2 super sticker like Dino just did, then we could pay for someone to be a producer that could figure out the settings of the squeeze faces. Big up to you, Dino. No one needs to put in the super stickers. We're only messing around, but I appreciate you very much, Dino. Thank you very much, buddy. Toby Kwan Kenobi-san, the artist formerly known as Cat Funt, has said, big up to you, buddy. He says, is risking Lookman our only real chance left wing? We're going to come to that in just a minute. We're going to talk about Atalanta, mate. So bear with me. We will answer that in just a second. But thank you very much for the super chat. He's also come back in. Choo-choo to you, Toby. Mr. Cat Funt, choo-choo to you, buddy. Another super sticker as well. Appreciate you very much indeed. We're picking you up, buddy. We're picking you up. And we're also picking up Ulrika over in Australia. Dry your bits. Get yourself a G&T. It is about, must be midnight or something. Or is it quite late? I think it's quite late over there. It might be 1:30 in the morning, Ulrika. You're out tonight, aren't you? She's out tonight. She's having a good time. She's having a good time. Dirty little girl.
I mean, I mean, a lot of people calling for Moani's loan to be cancelled, Sean. How does that help us in any shape, way or form? I'd like to have him as a full-time member, i.e. sign him on a permanent, right? I know a lot of people he's absolutely useless, send him back. But yeah, not for me. Tell me something, Lookman, should we talk about Atalanta? The interesting thing about the business when Jovic grabbed hold of Lookman, I was looking at all the comments in Italy, and all of them were backing Lookman, right? Despite Gasparini and his problems there with Juric, all of them were backing Lookman. He didn't feel like he was backed with some of the racist comments that were going on. I listen, for me, I think the narrative that he's a bad egg and we must avoid him at all costs is something that we need to avoid in January. And avoid in January. I don't subscribe to it. Sean, for me, I would taking him on loan, like on on trial, mate, just to see how he is, how his mindset is. Because what we know is he had 3 fantastic seasons at Atalanta, goals and assists. He offers everything that Kudus doesn't offer on that right-hand side. Kudus, he's lots of bluster. But what have we got? 3 assists and 1 goal this season? It's not enough, Sean.
He's got more than 3 assists, hasn't he?
Is it 3 assists and 1 goal?
4 assists and 1 goal, I think. Listen, but everyone judges. Look, I know obviously output is the thing that matters. Of course it is.
Hangs on to the ball too long. I just think Lookman
definitely hangs on to the ball too long.
Yeah.
I think he's a little bit selfish in that regard. I haven't used the word selfish before. I definitely think he does run down blind alleys, and I think I also think that he's doing his thing because he's looking for the corner kicks. I genuinely do believe that is part of the tactic. People are seeking out set pieces, not just at Tottenham, lots of different teams, and I think that like I said before, I think I said it before the Newcastle game. I said if Eddie Howe is the master tactician, he would allow us to hit the ball in. He would tell his fullbacks if Kudus goes to the byline and he wants to cross it in, unless it's from a sustained build-up play where there's going to be 2 or 3 players in the box because there's ultimately just going to be Richarlison or whoever it is that's waiting there. And they did that. We only had 2 corners against Newcastle the whole game, and we really stunk the place out. For me, I think that
pieces. Paul Ricketts said Johnny doesn't like set pieces, but I love them. I've bemoaned the whole of last season that we conceded the most set pieces of any team in the league and scored the fewest amount of goals in set pieces. And we had a manager who said he's not bothered with them. We now got the complete polar opposite. Foxy's coming in and said, that he's only got 1 goal and no assists. I know that, Foxy, but he didn't start the beginning of the season. He was dropped because he demanded the move. Atalanta were messing around. Listen, Atalanta have got a history of selling everybody on.
He's also not playing every minute, right? He played 3 minutes against Torino. He played 73 minutes against Como. He played 82, 90 and 90 against Lazio, your team, Cremonese and Milan. And then he played half an hour against Udinese and 75 against Sassuolo. He hasn't hit the same numbers last season, but there's definitely legacy issues. There's 100% like some sort of resentment, some unwillingness to move past the dramas that happened with him and the club. Listen, Johnny, all I will say is I rate the player. I do. We tried to loan him on deadline day, and Atalanta said no loans, only sales. If that stance doesn't change, could you be getting into bed on a 4-year deal with another Ndombele type player? Or do you want that?
Look, I'm not 100% sure he's an Ndombele. Look, we know he had trouble with Gasparini, and we know he had trouble with Juric. But I mean, Juric's behaviour was disgraceful. You like grabbing hold of a player like that by the neck in front of everybody. Come on, that's you can't. You're not going to be blaming him for that, and he's got the sack. So it's obviously, he's the one that's paid the price for that behaviour. And he was shit at Southampton as well. Let's be serious. So,
I think Atalanta are about to get Palladino, who is he was the manager of Fiorentina. So, interesting, right? Another clean slate. Does that mean that? There's chaos, right? Like Juric is being sacked. Lookman's removed himself. He's disowned everything to do with Atalanta on social media. He's removed all of his attachments to it. He's unfollowed anybody. Apparently, allegedly, he has unfollowed anybody that he was following that has any relationship whatsoever to Atalanta Football Club. It is toxic as hell, mate. And I don't know if you want to get on. Listen, I rate the player. I really rate him.
But
When
do we know what's going on, though, Sean? Do we know what's going on? Look, Victor Osimhen.
No, I don't know. Yeah.
Victor, this is the problem. We're surmising. Victor Osimhen had a serious issue with his club, okay, in Italy. Felt like he did not get the backing with the racist abuse. And then they posted that picture, that racist picture, and he wanted to get out. I personally think that Lookman is the player that we need on that left-hand side. What I know is he's aggressive, he's direct, he can score goals, he's assist, he plays with his head up, and he can play in the Premier League. For me, those are the three criteria I'm looking for. If I can get him,
I've wanted him for like this guy in the chat here, Angebal Juans, whoever that is. Sean, shut up. He's a good lad. He just wants to better himself and wants out. Bro, I've been on board Ademola Lookman coming to Tottenham before nearly everyone. You know, I looked him up. I found him on. I didn't find him, but I looked on Y-Scout like in May, I think it was, or April, and I was saying there's 3 players we should be looking at. If we're looking for a player that does what we need, it's either Garnacho or it's Anthony Gordon, who you're never going to get. Although I do want to talk to you about him, Johnny, in a second. Or Ademola Lookman, like in terms of reasonable targets, and everyone said I was a donut. So I'm not. Please don't think I'm saying it. I'm not anti Lookman, mate. I'm just saying, is there a consideration that the guy? There's problems that follow him, Johnny. There are problems that follow him.
Germany. Listen, the players that come from Italy do better than the ones playing from Germany. You know, I mean, Tonali came straight in, bang. You know, I think I rate Italian football more so than I rate German football currently at the level of teams and stuff, competition. Like for me, you know, all this links to Savinho. Savinho's the one, 80 million pounds. I don't see 80 million pounds worth of footballer at the moment. I see him coming on for Manchester City, making stray passes, you know, not quite.
Savio.
Huh?
Savio.
Savinho.
Yeah. I've been unimpressed when I've seen him this season.
Yeah. But I mean, it's not to say he won't go on to become a great player, but Spurs need players now. And what I know is, what was it? Average of 15 goals a season.
He got 24 GA last year. Lookman did.
Yeah, I mean, like,
whilst also having arguments with his manager.
Yeah, I just look. For me, I would take him 100%. I could take him on loan. Would I buy him? Yeah, if I could pick him up for 35 million. Look, we spent 47 million on Brennan Johnson doing pony trek. You know, running on the spot. Okay, we spent 60 million on Solanke. We spent nearly 60 million on Richarlison. I'm willing to take a risk of 35 million on there he is. There he is there. That is Brennan Johnson to a T. But I'm willing to take the risk on him. Obviously, I would prefer to do a loan. If we're so desperate for this window. I'd just like to know that we could get a loan, be dealing with Atalanta now, that day one, January the 1st, we get a loan deal for him and we get a loan deal for Ivan Toney or Vlahovic or somebody that we can get a loan for with options or obligations or whatever it may be. But we cannot right now rely on Kulu coming back, Mawani coming back. God knows, no doubt, because Richarlison's having to play every single game, there's a very good chance that he's going to end up breaking down or someone else is. You know, Kudus, we said, how many times did we say Kudus looks knackered, Sean? He looks like he needed a break before he got injured.
Yep.
So anyway, that look, I think Atalanta has got big problems. Remember, we got one of our greatest players there. Cuti Romero came from there. I think, listen, they have a history of selling very good players. Hoyland came from there. I'm sure Foxy can list all the players they've sold over the last two years. It should be quite an extensive list. But for me, nah. I think we just got to bite the bullet and go for it, Sean. Where else are you going to go? Semenya's not coming to us in January, although Liverpool have ruled themselves out of any transfer for him. Not for me.
Sorry, mate, you there? You cut out, or I did? I'm not sure.
I'm here. I'm not moved.
Okay. The internet's a little bit sticky. Maybe running 2 streams at the same time is putting a little bit of too much pressure on the system.
Tell me something, Sean. Go on.
Yeah.
I'm just going
to ask. Oh, go on. After you, sir. After you.
I was just going to say, Manchester City back in the title race, seriously. That was a fantastic performance there without the man who they said, without Rodri, Manchester City are a fraction of the team that they were before. And we saw Gonzalez in the middle of the park there.
Yeah, they've got to keep him fit, mate. They have to keep him fit, first thing. They have to...
Rodri or Gonzalez?
Keep Rodri fit for me. Nico Gonzalez, I think, is a very good player, but I don't think he's there. I don't think he's anything like. He had a good game yesterday, but I don't think he's quite as good as Rodri.
Well, Rodri wasn't even in the squad yesterday.
Right.
And what I'm trying to say here is that the argument has been made that without Rodri, Manchester City can't function properly. There's the engine's taken out. You got a beautiful ship with no engine to drive them on. But I think yesterday with Gonzalez, no Rodri, and Gonzalez again in the middle of the park, they showed that they actually do have a flow. They were fantastic yesterday. Yes, they were at home.
Liverpool was so bad, though, mate.
They were bad, but
Liverpool never got out of first gear yesterday. Like they just couldn't get hold of the ball. They had a little spell first 15 minutes of the first 10 minutes of the second half. But I thought, as I said to you before the game, I said there's only one winner in this one.
But was it Man City? Was it just Man City playing okay and Liverpool bad, or do you believe? I believe that Manchester City played very well, and we can see signs of progression. We can see Phil Foden's coming back into the fore. We can see Ryan Cherky's just coming back. We can see Haaland's.
They're definitely getting into a bit of a groove. I definitely think the Man City Haaland is so reliable, right, for them.
Yeah,
but what I would say is, Doku's incredible. But I do think that Liverpool were just shocking, Johnny. I think Liverpool, City weren't even pressing them and they couldn't string a pass together.
I just think that the elements of Manchester City are coming in. And what they did look yesterday, they looked very, very fresh. Yeah, They looked full of running. Whereas Liverpool looked very leggy, very lethargic. I take that. But I'm hoping, for the title race, that Manchester City, I think they've got another tough game. I think they're away at Newcastle when they come back, which will be a tough test because, as we know, Newcastle are a different team at home.
Yeah.
But
then they've got Leverkusen at home in the league, and then they've got Leeds at home. Sorry, in the Champions League. Then they've got Leeds at home, and they've got Fulham away, and then they've got Sunderland at home. They've got a decent run there. They've got a decent run of fixtures after Newcastle, haven't they? But then they've got Real Madrid away on the 10th of December.
Arsenal have had a hard start to the season, but they're in the moment. Arsenal are in their easier phase. I'd like to applaud Sunderland though for their gritty performance. I thought it was a fantastic game, and I think the neutrals absolutely loved that goal.
Oh yeah, 100%. I thought it was brilliant that the Sunderland the club decided to move the advertising boards 7 feet forward. It's brilliant. Shithousery of the finest order. You can't help but credit them where it's due for recognising the threat and then nullifying it. Even though Sunderland also like to use long throws, by the way, but they thought that Arsenal's long throw is more dangerous than ours, so let's take them both away and level the playing field a little bit.
Granit Xhaka was absolutely fantastic, mate. I mean, he was so fired up for that game, and
it's very good.
He showed. Love to see them stand up, and I love the fact that we predicted it. That Sunderland, probably had the best window of the three. I'm happy for them. I think they need all the points now because of the AFCON. They're going to lose a lot of players.
Apparently, they're not losing that many. I thought they were losing loads, but apparently, I haven't looked into it. Apparently, they're not losing that many. Some of the players that are African haven't actually qualified or something. So. Not entirely sure, but yeah, they'll be absolutely fine, mate. Sunderland will be fine. I think Perchy was trying to say to me yesterday that Sunderland might get dragged into a relegation battle or something. I was like, what? Because I asked him I asked all of you guys the question: are the bottom 5 teams is that the relegation battle? That's where it's coming from. And Perchy said, I think Sunderland might get dropped into it. I was like, well, what are we doing here? They've got 20 points already, haven't they? Or 19 points or something?
Mason's Adventures, I was meaning that Arsenal had their easy fixtures. They started very, very hard with a lot of away games against the big teams. Then they've had the easy run. Now they're coming into a more difficult run. But they have had the easier ones. Sunderland listen, I know Sunderland, have been very good at home, but if you're going to win titles, those are the games you go on to win. I thought Arsenal were fortunate against Newcastle at home, to be honest. If you remember that game, late game, 1-0, they were losing and scored 2 late goals.
That's right. Yeah, I do remember it.
Yeah.
I love Perchy as well. He's a great guy. So he's a nice guy, Perchy. Should we get down to the cooking, Johnny, where we go into the predicciones and then we can talk about a few other things?
You can do. You can do if you want.
It's about time we cook someone.
Who's gonna win this weekend? Gotta predict the scores. Gotta be Nostradamus, picking wins, losses and draws. Who's gonna win this weekend? Gotta predict the scores. Gotta be Nostradamus, picking wins, losses and draws.
Sean's favourite part of the show.
Let me get this quickly. Double check this one. Yeah, so I mean, I was so nearly getting the 3 point.
I'm giving Sean a new name, Sir Gloat-a-lot.
only in this department, whilst I can. So let's get going into the weekend, ladies and gentlemen. The bottom, the wooden spoon, bronze medal of 3. Was Jonny on 59 points, 68 points, 9 points ahead, 68 points was the chat. Big up to the chat. And then 6 points ahead of that is yours truly, so gloat a lot. And then so there's a 15-point spread between Jonny and myself. Can be closed. Let's go through it. Spurs versus Manchester United. We've already spoken about a lot of these games, but Spurs United, 2-0, I said. You said 2-1.
So just for clarity here, guys, right? Sean was calling me out in case you missed it today, right? In case you missed
Excuses FC.
Yeah, and I called it. I was a second away from being spot on 3 points. That's how far away I was on that one. Yeah,
it's a shame because at the end of the day, you only came out with 0 point.
0 point instead of 3 points. Thank you very much.
We all had a home win, but none of us were right. So 0 point stays where it is. Everton versus Fulham. We all went for a home win. 2 of you were right, but the wrong scoreline, and yours truly bagged the 3 points with a 2-0. So I get 3 points, you, and it was El Dantorino that got a point each for that one. So we go to
3-1.
Everton Fulham. I said 2-0.
What did we say? You
said 2-1, and so did El Dante.
Okay.
You're keeping tabs on me, mate. You're double checking, are you?
No.
The results up. West Ham Burnley. We all went for a home win as well. We were all correct, but none of us were correct score. I said 1-0, and you guys both said 2-0. So 1 point apiece each. Sunderland versus Arsenal. You said 2-1 to Arsenal. Let me guess. It was a second away.
A second away again from another 3 points.
El Dante said 1-0 to Arsenal. Yours truly went for a draw because I actually had faith in the actual outcome. And I went for 1-1 though. So I get a point and you guys get 0 point. So at the stage, I'm on 4 points and you guys are on 2 points each. Then we've got the Chelsea game versus Wolves. I went for 1-1. You went for 2-0. And El Dante went for 3-1. What was it? Was it 4-0 in that game, wasn't it?
4-0, I think. Yeah.
So 0 point for me. but 1 point each for you guys. So you claw a little one back. Villa versus Bournemouth. I said 3-1 Villa, so it'd be easy peasy. You guys said 1-1 and 2-2 respectively. So unfortunately, 0 point for you guys, 1 point for myself. So
I don't really think anyone saw 4-0 coming. They lost their captain early, Adam Smith, and they seemed to go to pieces. Semenya missed the penalty. Not quite sure why he was playing on the right wing, to be honest with you, but he was, and seemed to negate a lot of his firepower.
Are Villa back, Johnny?
You
should take a little look at the Premier League table. They had a terrible start to the season, didn't they? They hadn't scored in 4 games.
I think Villa are going to end up trying to sign Agahawa from Auto, mate, because Ollie Watkins, I can't see him going to the World Cup.
They're into 6th place, mate. They've got the same outcomes. They didn't win anything. They were 0 point. Was it 0 point or 1 point from 4 games or 2 points from 4 games or something? Hadn't scored a goal, and now they're up on 18 points alongside Tottenham, alongside Manchester United, alongside Liverpool, alongside Bournemouth. How many other teams are on 18? That's it. 5 teams on 18 points. It's so tight. Fourth place is 19 points. Mid-table is 17 points.
Tighter than a Vickers. Honestly.
Yeah, 100%. So, where did I get to?
At least we're not getting cancelled for that one. Brentford versus Newcastle.
Yeah. Brentford versus Newcastle. I said 2-1. You said 2-2. Brave prediction, but ultimately wrong. And also El Dantarino went for a home win as well. So Brentford were cool and calm, mate. No issues. Newcastle, we've spoken about them.
2 late goals. It was draw. The 78th minute Thiago penalty and the 95th minute. Is it Igor Thiago now?
Oh, hang on a second. So you're saying 95th minute to make it 3-1. So you're saying that El Dante and myself were 1 second away from getting all 3 points?
Not second. 3 minutes. Yeah, 3 minutes you were away. Can I ask you a question? Is Igor Thiago now playing himself into the World Cup squad?
Mate, he's not making a bad shout, is he? He's doing all he can. He's doing all he can, and he's doing it very, very well. Really interesting player. And you have to look at that and think Richarlison's probably sitting there going, "I'm cooked."
Well,
does Richarlison do you reckon he goes to the World Cup and just doesn't play?
Well, look, he could find his form, right? He knows he wants to play, but Igor Thiago is just an absolute beast. Another fantastic find from Matthew Benham and their Algo. He was there last season, don't forget, but actually had injuries.
Yeah.
Tell me something. The smooth operator, rumours that he could be coming to Spurs. What do you think? Smooth operator.
Kevin Sade.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is the problem, though, mate. Kevin Sade, he doesn't excite me. Does he excite you?
No, but he's bloody quick, and he's adding to his game pie. I mean, for me, all I saw is him being a speed merchant. That's who it was. Foxy in the chat. I'm a huge fan of Victor Roca. We mentioned him quite a lot on football. He's playing. Is he playing for Palmeiras at the moment and banging in the goals? I'd love to see him come back. It just didn't happen for him on his first visit in Europe. Do you think he can maybe cut the mustard on a January signing? Be interesting to see. I wouldn't have thought so, but let's see what happens. Palace Brighton, the derby. Always find this is the strangest derby in football.
Yeah.
Crystal Palace and Brighton. One in Brighton and one in London, South London. Not quite sure if someone could give me the history of this derby, because I never think
that Brentford and Brighton should have a rivalry, mate, just because of their owners. Well, the story of their owners is unbelievable, mate. They best mates. grew up working in the same company, massive fallout. One of them stays with Star Lizard and buys Brighton. The other one sets up a competitor to Star Lizard and buys Brentford. Both known for doing the same style of recruiting. Both about the same size team. Both relatively mid-table, punching 9th, 8th, whatever. Like, why don't... And they hate each other. Benham and Bloom hate each other. Why hasn't that first of all been turned into a movie? And second of all, why isn't there a rivalry there? Why aren't the fans caring about those two? They should hate each other on behalf of their owners.
Yeah, I don't understand that. I definitely don't understand the Palace Brighton the Palace Brighton rivalry, but it's one that's strange. I'd never expected to be a 0-0 draw. There were chances for both teams. There were penalty appeals and all sorts going on. But at the end of the day, 0-0 was the one I wouldn't have predicted. By the way, Foxy in the chat's come back saying that Rocco will 100% stay with Palmeiras for now. He's got the Copa Libertadores final coming up versus Flamenco. That one's not going to happen. Oh, by the way, Sean, I've just seen now on my YouTube upload when you download after the show.
Yeah.
Story. I've got two. Definitely got two streams.
Yeah, I don't.
Definitely.
What's gone on? StreamYard suggested just hit this button. It makes it easy. All it's done is made it terrible. Well, we won't be doing this again.
Brighton, what did you have?
I said 2-1 Palace. You said 2-1 Palace, and El Dante for the chat said 2-1 Brighton. We were all wrong. For 0 point across the board.
Okay.
Forest Leeds. Talk to me about the game.
Well, Leeds started with the win. Wolfie was probably going in a meltdown. Sean Dyche, get him out. And they came back into the game. Sangari, balls broke to Sangari, and he finished well, but it sort of opened up for him for the number 6 to bang one in. Morgan Gibbs-White got one back. He needed that goal. And Elliot Anderson with a late penalty. But Leeds were in the game up until the 90th minute, Sean.
Yeah.
The 91st minute. I thought Leeds were attacking them down that left-hand side. They had moments, but it just didn't happen. Lucas Nemenka's goal was a real cracker. Are Forest back?
No.
No.
They'll never be back with Sean Dyche, mate.
No.
No chance. What was I going to say to you?
Yeah,
so this is another game. If it wasn't for the last minute goal, you'd have had an extra 3 points. So at that stage, right?
2-1, didn't I, Sean?
You had 2-1, yeah. So you could have you got 3 points when you could have had 9 points. So you would have had 6 points more than what you've got, which would have been a record for you this weekend, mate, if you'd got all the points you deserve to get.
90th, 96th, and 97th minute.
Well, listen, the game's 100 minutes long these days, mate. You have to pick your. You have to.
I thought I was actually going for it. I just don't know. Yeah.
Unfortunately, you stay on 4 points at that particular, or you get an extra point, so you go to 4 points thus far, and then the same with El Dante and the chat, and obviously I got that one wrong. I went for a draw, so 0 point for me. And then going into the last game of the weekend, I said it'd be one-sided. I said it'd be Man City all day long, and it was 2-0. I went for. You went for 3-2 to City. And the chat went for 2-3 to Liverpool, which means you get a point, I get a point, and the chat gets 0 point. So, on that basis, Johnny, guess what?
Hang on. What about the goal scorers, mate?
Yeah, Jared Bowen.
Yeah, he got jack shit.
And Ollie Watkins.
Ollie Watkins, 4 goals for Villa. Ollie Watkins couldn't find a goal or assist. I had Jared Bowen. I thought ample opportunity to be playing and winning. They scored 3 goals, and he missed two good chances. And what did the chat have?
They had Jarrod Bowen as well.
Oh, that's right, Jarrod Bowen. So it was a blank. 2 weeks.
So on the basis of that, the grand totals for the week are in joint second place or joint third place, however you want to think of it. The chat and Johnny get 5 points. 5 points. Me, stretching my lead again, 8 points.
Okay.
So on the back of that, I go to 82 points. 82 points to Butler. In second place on 73 points, the chat. And in third place, bringing up the rear, is Johnny on 64 points. 18 points spread now, Johnny.
Oh, mate, listen, it could have been 9 points difference, mate. 9 points. Like,
no, it would have been 6 points. It would have been 6 points in favour. But actually, one of those goals meant that I got a point, and you. So that it would have been. I would have got a point less had that gone in. So,
confidence breeds confidence. I'm a striker that can't bag a goal at the moment.
You are the Richarlison of the prediction league.
Okay, you know? Goykeres to be true.
Shall we take a little pivot across to the fantasy football?
Let's have a look at that, Sean. Let's have a look at that.
Chance for me to put back in my place.
I never read the change of rules, Sean, properly. And
what change of rules?
So I didn't realise. Okay, I know there's extra points now for defensive clearances, but I didn't realise you had 2 of everything this season instead of 1. So although you have 2 wild cards like normal, you also have 2 captains, 2 this, 2 that, 2 everything.
Oh, that's why everyone's going so early.
Correct.
Interesting. Have you not used anything yet? I used the bench boost this weekend.
I've not used anything, mate.
Keeping your cards close to your chest.
I'm like a virgin. Used nothing.
All right, listen. Let's have a little look see before we come into the team. Let's have a look see at how do I do this? Status. How do I see this? Where's the leagues and that?
Well, for those of you who are on who are watching on audio,
hang on. Let's go to where is the? How do I see this? How do I go to this? Points. Here we go. Points. Where's the league? Where's the league in that? Here we go. So I've jumped up to 323rd in the league. Let's start at the top though. Ladbroke Hotspur, a new leader at the top. And be safe, be lucky, peeps. Danny Boy 83. He's that guy we talk about on Instagram, Johnny.
Oh yeah.
Andy Curialis is representing Be Safe, Be Lucky. We'll come back to him in a second. Anybody that Eric Callison's had a bit of a relatively poor week for his standards. Where are my boys? Here's Sully.
Look at
701.
Look at Ballers. Look at Ballers at number 6. He had a great week. Let's see what he had. 77 points.
13 points for Thiago. Very good.
Yeah, that was what. And Mbuemo, Saka, Sarr, and Dye, Walter Marde, Haaland, Calafiori, Van der Ven. Okay.
You can't see. Are these triple captain it as well?
Captain. Right. Okay. That was it. Saka. So 36 points he got from Saka.
Wow. So it would have been 12 points. That's a good week.
Yeah.
Very impressive. Very impressive. Noel is a regular in the team. He had a bit of a stinker. 35 points. Not that bad. Saka's in there as well. He's got 3 Arsenal players as a Tottenham fan. I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, wait till you see mine, Sean.
Let's go and have a look. See. Whereabouts are you?
I am sat right now in 213th place, having not played a single bonus.
I'm coming for you.
Ready to come up. Ready to shoot up the league, mate. 213. Here we go. 213. Carlos Kickerball. There we go.
608 points.
It's all right.
43 points. Baltimore, Pedro Hart. It's solid, isn't it? It's solid across. And Saka. You've got 3 Arsenal players as well, you shameless little git. Where's your shame, Johnny?
Hey, listen, I can't live in denial, mate. You know, you want to live in a river in Egypt, that's up to you. But for me, I had to bring in. I thought Declan Rice scoring lots of points from interceptions and stuff, but he didn't do it so good in this game. But listen, I'm out to do well. International
608 points.
I'm
How many's
waiting.
the top person on? Like 730 or something. It's not that
I'm
far away.
waiting for the international break, Sean, to see how many more Spurs players are injured.
Hang on, you're only 608 points. You're 59 points ahead of me. I can track you down before Christmas. Nah, it's the long stretch. I'll just look at my thing.
All you need is a good.
Oh, I used my bench and all I got was 9 points. I fucked it massively.
Yeah, Baltimore only got really the only reason I got points for Baltimore the other day was that little flick for the goal, the setup. But other than that, no.
How did Haaland only get 8 points when he scored a goal?
Because he missed the penalty, mate. -3.
You stupid lanky Norwegian Viking.
I had Semenya missed the penalty.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah. So I think Walter Martin will be coming out of my team, and I think I might be having a Igor Thiago entering.
You're the guy turning up late to the party, aren't you?
Yeah, I think I might. Nah, it's okay to be. I didn't do Crystal Palace last season. I had a lot of points on Muniz. But let's see. Should we go to the? Should we go and have a look at the any transfer news that's lurking about? Let's have a look.
How do I get rid of this?
This morning's, for example. Let's have a look. What's going on this morning,
guys? Quickly, let me do a couple of super chats. Please do smash the like button, guys. There's 220 people here as always. Apologies again about the weird thing. Smash the subscribe if you haven't already. We appreciate your support. Let's have a look. El Dantorino says campaign to sign Ravello continues. Ravella, continues here. Good player, very good player.
Yeah,
wouldn't mind him at all.
We like the guy at Mitterrand, striker. He went off injured. I don't know if Foxy knows. He went off in the 56th minute. I don't know if it was just the precaution, or at 3-0 against Celtic, or there was actually something else. Kelsey's asking how many participants. I think there's 400 and something.
No, there's over 500.
There's over 500, is there?
Over 500. I don't know how they all find these links. I don't know. Some people must have just like some sort of scanner that scans for all links that are out there that are open, just drops them in case that anyone's stupid enough to give away freebies and prizes and things. I'm pretty sure Sava does that. I'm pretty sure Sava goes, I'll join my fantasy league and I'll give you a couple hundred.
Well, we'll give away a prize, but we'll give away a prize to someone who is in our chat and is a regular, in case it's like an interloper who's just found it and dumped their team in.
Yeah, 100%.
From Arsenal,
highest positioned regular viewer gets a gets a prize. Let me quickly do the super chats, mate. Gareth Berg, Sweden. Big up to you. Haven't seen you before, mate. Thank you very much for the super sticker. Very nice of you. How is Sweden? Hello, Sweden. Jaghurter Sean, Gareth. How about that? I'm a polyglot. Let's talk about this. Ulrika Johnson, another Swedes, come back in, but she's out in Australia. Big up to you, Ulrika. Hope you're okay. She says, have you looked at the oligarch money in Turkey yet? No, we haven't, Ulrika. This is what we're going to do in the next 2 weeks, mate. And we've also got a wonderful new game to play, by the way. I'm going to introduce the. Can I do it? Is it ready yet? Is it ready to go? I think I've uploaded it. We've got a new game that we're going to be playing next week. Let me, Johnny, you start the transfer stories, and I'll
Arsenal have been told that if they want to sign Rafael Leao from AC Milan, it's going to cost in the region of 80 to 85 million euros. I'm surprised, Sean. I thought it might be quite a higher fee than that. Barcelona, who have declared a strong interest in Daniel Munoz at Crystal Palace, but they face fierce competition from both Chelsea and Manchester United for the Crystal Palace defender, but it will be nothing to the competition they'll face trying to deal with Steve Parish to even get him out the club. What else have we? Crystal Palace are desperate to try and sign Adam Walton to a new long-term contract. I hope he realises if he signs that contract, he'll never get out unless he has a buyout clause. No doubt he'll have a very good agent, Adam Walton. Still hard to believe he's only 21, but he's an absolute
unbelievable. 21, unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah, and just shows you if you're good enough, you're old enough. I think they'll have to insert a buyout clause, because if they don't, then he'll never get out of Palace. We've seen it with Louis Saha. We saw the trouble that Eze had getting out of the club. Another player who got out of the club but can't seem to get a game, really, really strange, was Aston Villa's signing of Harvey Elliott on loan from Liverpool.
Doesn't play.
Madness. I don't quite understand what's going on there. He's come on for Liverpool, had really good games, scored goals. We saw him for England in the championships in the summer. I would say the likelihood is that Liverpool will have to recall him in the summer. Might
recall him sooner than that.
I don't know what the recall is. I would have thought the first recall would be January. Normally, that's what it will be. Fabrizio Romano has confirmed that Liverpool are no longer looking to sign Bournemouth Antoine Semenyo in the January transfer window. But bad news for them. I'm not sure how this guy is going to get a move in his current form. But Bayern Munich have entered the race to sign Ibrahim Konate. And despite being offered 2 deals by Liverpool, Konate still hasn't committed to the deal. I don't think it's someone, the way he's playing right now, I'm not sure they should be hanging on to him. What are you thinking?
I think part of the reason why he's playing badly, I think that Virgil van Dijk is playing horrendously as well. And I think that probably sort of, breaks the confidence of the relationship. I don't know what's going on with Virgil van Dijk, whether it's just time catching up with him, it's just an extra year, he's 34. Is he worried about the relationship with Konate? Is Konate's head gone? And therefore, relationship centre backs are partnerships, aren't they? So, is it one person being pissed off with the other for their head gone? Is it the other person looking at the other one and thinking you're getting old and you're not good, and therefore I can't do everything? I don't know what's going on at Liverpool. I think the whole thing is it seems very fragile. They seem very, very, very fragile. It's taken 10 games for Mo Salah to get back into it. All of their Florian Wirtz hasn't hit the ground running. It just feels like there's an unhappy or like a dented confidence camp. And as far as Konate goes, mate, look, you're not going to get a better player than him for free, are you? Although, interestingly, like you say, there's 3 teams that are looking at 3 different players, and 2 of those players are already playing for 3 of those teams in Upamecano and Konate, and Liverpool are looking at Guehi.
So there's 3. There's a magic roundabout here, right? Of 3 centre backs: Upamecano, Konate, and Mark Guehi. For me, Mark Guehi number 1, Upamecano number 2 because of the injuries, and number 3 would be Konate for me. Someone's going to be left short. I wonder if someone's going to come knocking the door of Spurs for a player. I mean, Liverpool, let's be honest, right? Florian Wirtz, £116 million signing in the summer. He looks like the kid that's been invited to come and play with the men and can't get hold of the ball. I thought he would come good by now. He's really, really struggling. Alexander Isak, he's had his injuries. He hasn't been training. His mind's been elsewhere. He hasn't made any contribution. What's named from Bournemouth, the defender, the left back. He's not. Kirkes. He's not been anywhere near the form he was producing last year. Just shows you sometimes it's the manager. Look at Solanke, couldn't stop scoring for Bournemouth, came here, hasn't produced any of the form anywhere near the form he did at Bournemouth. Kirkes is not showing anywhere near the form that he showed there. Frimpong hasn't delivered anything. In fact, the only signing one would say that has delivered anything in any shape, way, or form of contribution is Ekitike. I can't see any Ekitike.
I just want to go back to those halcyon days, Johnny, when you were that. You seem to have got his name now, like nailed these days. Well done. You know?
His name now. I think I'll say Ekitike in my sleep. I think Liverpool really, when you think about it, it's I do think that Jota has played. I know a lot of people will play it down, but if you're in a tight group of people, right, where you've got close friendships, I don't believe you can just be professional and forget about Jota. Jota's shirt still hangs up in the dressing room, Sean.
Yeah. So that's probably, I think you're right. That's had a massive impact as well.
Do you think when you come in and you see that and you're reminded that, I understand the tribute, and I think it's admirable and retiring the shirt, but is having his shirt in the changing room for each of the games hanging there, does that have a detrimental effect? Because you look there and you start thinking about him. I know it's meant to inspire you, but is it having the opposite effect?
I don't know, mate. I've got no idea, to be honest. I've never lost anyone. I've never been in an environment where that sort of thing's happened that's that close to me. So I don't know what that kind of feeling is like. Might be a factor. Probably is a factor. I certainly think that it was a disruption, obviously. And what a player he was. He was a great guy as well, by all accounts, right? Everybody loved him. So it's very possible, mate, that there is a contributory factor to the problems. But I also just think that they've changed a hell of a lot. Sometimes changing too much in one go is, it's okay just adding one little ingredient at a time. But if you're trying to make a spaghetti bolognese and you've changed your tomatoes, you changed your onion supplier, you've changed your garlic supplier, and you've changed your beef supplier or your mince supplier, maybe the first few times that you make the spag bowl, it's going to taste a little bit different and it's not always going to be enjoyable. So I think that Liverpool have changed so much, haven't they? They brought in Isak, they brought in Ekitike, they brought in Wirtz, they brought in, as you say, 2 new fullbacks. They've got problems at the centre back space. They've been shoehorning Szoboszlai into DM roles and right back roles, but he's clearly a more advanced player. I think so much has changed in the Liverpool setup. And last season, Slot comes in. He was the only thing that changed. Everybody else, apart, I know what's his name, sort of was learning Spanish, Trent or whatever. But for the most part, the only thing that changed last year was the manager. I know they brought in Chiesa, didn't they? But
I just think Trent with his no hablo español, right, weren't fooling anybody, right? But I just think,
Gotcha.
La cuenta, por favor. Yeah, no, mate. We know you've been practicing. We know you've been practicing. No, I just think Jota has had a massive impact. Losing Jota, it was
so much change at Liverpool.
Yeah, crowd favourite. He had his song. I think he was a player favourite and popular, and he was a very good player. He was a player that whenever he came on, you knew he could change a game. It's obviously, it's made me hungry now. James, I want some Spogbog now as well. On to Manchester City and Pep Guardiola.
Fucking Spogbog.
Spogbog.
Spag bowl.
Spag bowl. Spaghetti bollocks.
Let me get a couple of super chats quickly. James with a super sticker. Big up to you. Choo to you, James. Thank you very much, my man. Appreciate you, buddy. Very cool. And also Adam Horlock. Big up to you, member of the show as well. Says, love you guys. Great show as always. Choo. Choo to you, Adam, man. I appreciate that very much. Johnny and I both appreciate all of the support that you guys give every day. We've got a really cool little hardcore audience that are always here. And we very much appreciate it. We don't take it for granted. We know you could be spending your time doing other things. So we do thank you very much. For,
like trying to learn how to do a production on YouTube. I'm joking. I leave it all to Sean. Sean's been brilliant. I'm just an also around here. Manchester City, Pep Guardiola is reportedly very unhappy with Erling Haaland's growing desire to leave Manchester City for Real Madrid. And he's also pissed off with the City bosses, who he's clashed with, the senior club officials, over their decision to insert a release clause into the Norwegian striker's contract. I don't know what the release clause is, Sean.
A lot of money.
If he's leaving next year or wherever, should he really be upset about inserting that into his clause? Is that, I mean, if he was Alex Ferguson right now, Alex Ferguson ran down the squad and just left an aged squad there. So whoever took over from him, it wouldn't be seamless. There would be a massive drop-off, as we've seen with Manchester United. But Pep doesn't seem to want that. Pep wants them to continue in the vein. He wants to continue bringing through talent so that when he leaves, there's a smooth transition to the next manager. Could the next manager potentially be Mikel Arteta?
I think now he's so Arsenal, isn't he? I think that'd be a difficult one to see happen. Maybe, possibly. I can't imagine Manchester City with a different manager now. It's been so long. You know what I think about Pep Guardiola? You know, we spoke about this before. Like back in the day, you could have long-term legacy style incumbents that would just be, you know, the kind of the life and soul of the football club, the likes of Nigel Clough, the likes of Alex Ferguson, the likes of Arsene Wenger to a degree, David Moyes at Everton, you know, those sorts of Jurgen Klopp, 7 years. But I think that after a while, you look at like Pochettino, I think after a while, sometimes if you're recycling the same kind of rhetoric, the same spiel, the same pre-match talk, all that stuff to the same players, I think it gets a little bit stale. I think one of Pep Guardiola's great strengths is that he's always tinkering his system, sometimes to a fault. Like last season, it was a disaster. But generally, he never really rests on he's always refreshing something. He's either refreshing his particular style of football, his particular way of playing, or he's refreshing the players that are listening to it, so that even if he's here for 10 years, it never gets boring for the people that he's talking to. And I think that's so it's very rare. It's very unique. I think that most managers get a little bit kind of comfortable, and they don't think that they want to, especially ones that are successful, they probably don't want to have to change themselves. And so they'll just, you know, at best, they'll change their personnel around them. But I think Pep does a little bit of all of it, doesn't he? He tinkers with his system. He definitely changes and you know, figures out who's necessary and who isn't. He doesn't really stand in too many players' way. Although I definitely think he stood in Savinho's way, and I think he did that out of spite to Tottenham Hotspur because of Daniel Levy.
Yeah, listen, I think it's. I can't disagree with any of it, to be honest with you. I really can't. There's a lot of conversation, Sean, about sending Muani back, and that he's crap, and you know he ain't as good as everyone thinks he is. And I was looking at his stats at Nantes. For Nantes, right, 87 appearances, 23 goals, 16 assists. Then he goes to Eintracht Frankfurt, 50 appearances, 26 goals, 17 assists. Then he goes to Paris Saint-Germain, 54 games, 11 goals, 7 assists. And then at Juventus, where he had apparently a terrible season, 10 goals, 3 assists in 20 games. And Spurs, you know, he's had 8 appearances, but, you know, they're stop and start. You know, the guy's had a dead leg, a broken jaw.
Why would anybody send him back, by the way? What are we doing here? Because he's been injured.
Money. We're wasting. All of a sudden, the fans are worried about the club finances.
Is it a big percentage of the fans, mate, Johnny, or is it just a few?
Yeah, I want to keep the player long term. You know, I'm not interested.
I rate him. I'd like him to be here long term. I think he's a good player. I think he's a really good player. But you know, you can't judge Muani. If we're saying you can't judge Thomas Frank after 3 months, you can't judge Muani after 3 games. He missed the first 8 games through a dead leg, essentially, or not being fit. Comes back and played in a system that didn't really support him because we were a little bit more defensive. But when he did play, he looked like he had a few. He missed a couple of chances. Okay, like
Yeah.
shit. Like Ronaldo's never ballooned the ball over the bar. What are we doing here?
At the
And
top.
then, yeah, exactly right. It's ridiculous. And then now he's fractured his jaw. So we're saying, oh, it's been a failed transfer, not because of him, because of injuries and because of problems. Like these things happen. I mean, fucking hell, the world is so impatient, isn't it? It really is impatient.
I mean, a player like this, who I've wanted for such a long time. I mean, I miss out on Hincapié. I miss out on Eze. I get Mawani, who I'm like over the moon about getting. And then what happens? We end up. He doesn't start because he's got a dead leg, and then he ends up like with a broken jaw or a fractured jaw.
Do you know? Can you play? Because I
No.
fractured my jaw when I was 18. I got in a fight.
Sean, you think you're going to wear a chin guard?
I don't know because I always thought of you. I got hit around the head with a metal bar, and I was playing rugby at the time. And
Sorry,
my jaw.
You got hit round the head with a metal bar playing rugby?
No. I got hit around the head with a metal bar in a fight on a Friday night in Kingston High Street. And it broke my jaw or fractured my jaw. But I was playing rugby at the time, and I never had the confidence. Like 3 months later, I didn't have the confidence to play rugby to like my full capability because, especially in the scrum, like your jaw's involved in or your face is involved in the game. And so I'd imagine it's the same. But I was thinking, like, could you put? Is there any way you could put something on it? I didn't have my jaw wired because they said you didn't need it. It wasn't a major fracture. But my jaw to this day still clicks. Like if I go skiing and it's really cold, like it's like freezing or whatever, my jaw can lock as a consequence, and that's 25 years later. So I'm just wondering whether there's anything like you can do it for a broken nose, you can do it for Petr Cech wearing a head guard, but is there nothing you can do for your jaw?
I mean, otherwise people say we can still play football, just non-contact. But if you're bouncing up and down, surely you've got to rest the jaw. If you're doing stuff, surely the jaw's going with it. So I'm not sure how much. Maybe you can do bike work or stuff, but I don't know. I'm not sure if he can keep it up. But what I do know is that we've literally lost our entire strike force at the moment, and I don't know how we come back.
Well, I have to say, mate, step up, Mr. Matisse Tell. Right, a year and a half ago, everybody was talking. Not even a year and a half ago. A year ago, everybody was talking about Matisse Tell as being the next big thing in football. Come on, Matisse. You're going to get minutes now. You're going to get a lot of minutes.
It was a good goal he scored, Sean.
Cracking goal he scored.
He didn't do anything else. He scored the goal, and that was his lot.
Erling Haaland doesn't do a lot else, so does he either, mate?
No, I know.
Adam doesn't do a lot else either, does he? Like some of these world-class players, Salah, Haaland, Matisse Tell.
In fairness, though, Sean, backing up, they've got Garcia, they've got Phil Foden. They've got quality. They've got Doku. Ryan Cherky. Our list. They just keep going. Deflect.
Come on now, Lee. I knew there was going to be someone that was bringing in. I know Stell's going to be doing that tonight as well. He's going to be downplaying it because another deflected goal. Listen, if the deflection made that much of a difference, it would have been an own goal. It wouldn't have been a goal to him. A goal is still a goal.
Which one's this? What's he talking about?
Matisse Tell.
Oh,
it was a deflected goal. It was a deflected goal. Same as the one. Was it Leeds he scored as well?
Yeah, listen, I'm not sure. Listen, last bit of news before we go is that I know he's not the greatest source, but Fitch is still declaring that Spurs remain seriously interested in signing Rodrigo. It's a story that won't go away.
I won't let it go away, Johnny. I've been talking about it every week since the summer. I'm not going to let it go. Everyone says I'm ridiculous, but I'm not letting it go, Johnny. No chance. Rodrigo to Tottenham. Let's get it done.
We've been talking about it on here for 4 months. We've been going.
Yeah.
4 months, I reckon. We've been talking about it here.
Yeah, June or July. I think we started talking about it. Yeah?
Luke says, "Get Colo an NFL helmet."
It would actually be horrendous if you got a ball to the jaw.
Talking about the NFL, absolutely gutted last night. I scored 101 points. Jamal Gibbs scored me 35 points. I thought it was destined for victory, but I got robbed by someone who scored a really high high points last night.
What's that for, sorry? Jamel, who's that?
Jamal Gibbs, the Detroit Lions running back. You're not really a fan of NFL. I love it, man.
I used to be. I used to be a massive fan of it. When I lived in America, I went to every single London game, and then when I moved to America, I went to maybe 7 or 8. Cost a fortune. I loved it. I loved the tailgating, but it was. I joined the game a little bit late, and when you're in America, everybody's getting so stuck into like the draft and things, and it was all a little bit too much to like the amount of time you'd have to spend to really understand that game, to the detail in which you would have to be able to talk to people in the New York office where I was working, who would be talking about this kid out of this college, and there's just so many fucking teams in the college system.
I mean, I look at the draft picks. Last year I had Caleb Williams, who was number 1 draft pick as my quarterback. Didn't take him up this season. I went with Allen this year, and Caleb Williams has had a really good season. I love it. Basically, I love it. Are
you saying, Johnny, that if I was to commit to dedicating to my time to go and study up on it properly, then we should start another football channel, another channel?
Well, I think my son would be up for it. He absolutely loves it, mate. He could wipe the floor with us with players.
I don't know shit, but I'll figure it out. I'll dedicate my time to it. I'll go and learn.
Listen, anyone in the chat is interested in an NFL show, we can have an NFL show just for one, once a week while it's on.
Once a week on Football Inc. Yeah, because it is Football Inc. and Inc. can mean inclusive, so we can include the American version of football too. How about that?
It won't be including women's football. Sorry, girls.
Yeah. We don't go that far.
Well, the
we
line.
do not go that far.
Right. Guys, if you're here for the first time, no disrespect to women's football. Some of my best friends don't play women's football.
You know what, Johnny? On that note, mate, let me introduce the latest jingle.
Where is it? Oh.
Here we go. An error occurred. Fuck it. We have got a new show that we're going to be bringing in the next couple of days, by the way, guys, and it's called this.
Tell me stories that are true in the proper disguise. Tell me stories that are true in the proper disguise. The craziest football stories where some of them are true, but most of them are lies.
Yeah, we're going to have a section of the show where we tell you 3 stories. 2 are true. 1 is true and 2 are lies. And we're going to try and find the most ridiculous stories and 2 equally ridiculous stories. And we have to try and pick out which one's right. And there'll be no Googling, guys. No Googling.
No Googling possible. And by the way, Johnny, just for what you said about the women's football not being a part of it.
Oh no, it happened again. What did he just say? I guess it's time to say goodbye. We're getting canceled
today. Last night making some more jingles. We've got jingles galore on this channel. You know what we're doing here. You know what we do.
Yeah, we've been playing that one a lot.
Something wrong.
Something went wrong. You froze. We need more dancey jingles. Greek jinx, thanks. Geek jinx. Yeah, I like the sort of the dancey ones. But Sean's coming up with some great ones there. But yeah, would I lie to you, football style? No Googling. And
when do you think you'll be ready to play that game? When will you have the time to find?
Well, I'm off
1 true story, 2 weird ones.
On Wednesday, Sean, I'm off to Tenerife because it's international break.
Okay.
So what I'll do is I'll try and read up and find us a story. What you could do the 3 stories for this week, and I could do them for the following week if you want.
Okay. All right, then. That's fine.
Yeah. We could do that.
So you're not here at all on no show Wednesday. Is that what you're saying?
I might be able to do it Wednesday because I'm flying very early Wednesday. So I hope to, and I'm an hour ahead. So I hope to maybe do a show for an hour on Wednesday. Yeah, I hope to. And he's frozen again, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm back. The internet's shocking today. Internet's shocking.
What was I going to say to you? Yeah, we're also going to have the clown of the week, where we will pick 3 clowns. They don't have to be footballers. They can be anybody in football, whether it be a manager, whether it could be Jamie Carragher, who could be a contender on a regular basis, or a manager, or an owner, or just something mad in football, VAR decisions.
It's the clown show of the week.
Yeah, Gary Neville.
Jingle?
We could have a quick one. We could have a quick clown of the week, or we should save it for tomorrow. Let's save
We'll save it tomorrow. Save it tomorrow's show.
Tomorrow's show. We'll have a clown of the week tomorrow, definitely. Guys, thanks very much. A longer show than normal. Sorry, Sean, do you want to do the last super chat, mate?
Yeah, big up to you, Daniel. Thank you so much, mate. Choo to you, buddy. We're picking you up on the super sticker train. Guys, you guys are so loyal and so generous with the super stickers, the super chats, and just the fact that you come back every day and listen to Johnny and I talking absolute waffle. We love you lot. You're fantastic audience. We've got a nice little culture, nice little thing we're growing here. So appreciate you all. Johnny, I'll let you say goodbye, my man.
Guys, thanks very much. If you're listening on audio, please hit the follow button and leave us a 5-star review. We know loads of you, more and more of you listening while you're walking the wife. So if you don't want to listen to her, whack on the headphones and listen to us on the audio on Spotify or on Apple. And, give us like I said, a follow or a review if you get time. Thanks very much. And it's goodbye from me.
It's goodbye from that guy. See you tomorrow.
Bye.